Hello everyone, welcome back to Garden Dreams and Other Things, and it is a beautiful snowy day in January. And while I've been out here looking at the garden and how pretty it is with the snow, I've been thinking about how the last year was and all the successes were. And I want to talk about that, and I also want to talk about the things that I'm planning to do for the upcoming year and the plans that I have for the future for the garden. So let's get into it. So let's get into the successes for 2025. There are three that come to mind, and the first one that I want to talk about is my zinnias. Ever since I started putting these in the garden, I've realized that these are very easy to take care of, and with minimal effort, you really get some beautiful results on it. So zinnias have become a part of the garden for the last 3 or 4 years, and I'm looking forward to doing them again this year. I'm also doing research on dwarf zinnias. I'm going to be adding more of that in other areas in the garden. And then the zinnias that I currently have now, I'm going to keep in the garden where they've been for the last 3 years. The next one that I want to talk about is the hydrangeas. And I've added some to the garden that have really been surprising to me. They grew a lot faster than I thought that they would, but they are all beautiful. And what I love about the hydrangeas is they add the white to the garden, which is almost like a neutral for the garden. And what I like to do in the garden is I put it in between colors. If there are flowers to the left and to the right, I like to put a hydrangea in the middle because it provides a little bit of a break for your eye visually. When you see the colors, then you see the white, then you can transition to a different color. And I love that setup, and I'm trying to add more hydrangeas to the garden for that very purpose, so that you can see white throughout the garden and then add the additional colors to the garden. The other one that I have had for a long time in the garden is daylilies, and you can always count on them coming up. And I have them to the point now where I've got to divide. I have some yellow daylilies that have really taken over a small garden that I have to the right back of the yard. And I'm going to divide those up and put them on the opposite side of the garden so that visually you can see them on both sides of the garden. And I'm going to try to, I have one that is kind of a pinkish peach color, which is really not my favorite. And it unfortunately is the one that grows the best and has, I have a lot of that. And I'm going to try to thin those out, and I want to introduce new colors into the garden. So that's what I'm going to be looking for when I go out shopping for daylilies, is to see what other kinds of colors that they have. So those are the three that have been really good for me in the garden. I can count on them, and I don't have to spend a lot of effort in guaranteeing that they're going to grow. They come back every year and they do really well. So now I want to talk about the plans for 2026. So I've made my list, my dream list, and I'm trying to get it all in priority as to what should be the first one that I should be doing, and as the seasons are. And the first one that I want to do is a wildflower garden. And the inspiration for that is I have had some friends of mine send me wildflower seeds, and I have an area that would work perfect for it. And so that's what I'm going to do this year, is a wildflower garden. It's probably going to be about 10 feet in diameter, and I'm going to put it behind the main garden so that as you're looking through the azaleas and the bushes of the main garden, you're going to see the wildflowers that are going to be to the back of that. I think it'll be beautiful in that position, and I'm looking forward to see that if it will work well. I'm hoping so. If it does, then I'm going to do a video on that and put it on YouTube. The second one that I want to talk about is daffodils. Now, I have daffodils that are kind of scattered throughout the yard, and what I want to do is pull all those up and put them into one specific area. And I have a small garden that is close to the house, and that's where I'm going to put it. And I'm going to use the daffodils as a way of framing that, creating a border around that garden. And they're all yellow daffodils. And so what's going to happen in the spring is that they're going to come up and you're going to see that beautiful yellow band around the edge of the garden. And the zinnias are the next thing that are going to come up in that garden. So as the daffodils die down, then you're going to see all the color of the zinnia come up, which is about 7 or 8 colors that are going to show in those daffodils. And I'm sorry, in the zinnias. And they actually grow about 2.5 feet in height, 2.5 to 3 feet in height. And really beautiful. And they're going to bloom throughout the summer. And in the center of that is a crepe myrtle that kind of has a pink color to it. The leaves are kind of uh, um, a dark brown color to it, or purplish color. And so all that, the zinnias and the crepe myrtle, will be in bloom at the same time. And that's really going to be a beautiful combination of color. The third thing I want to do is work with rhododendrons. Now, I have an area where I had a rhododendron. It was Mom's rhododendron that she had for many years, but it got sick and I had to cut it down. There was no way of recuperating it. So I cleaned out the area, and I'm going to try to find the same exact color of rhododendron and put it in that same place. And I'm sure it will do well. The one that was there did very well. And it will be a great way to remember Mom by having that rhododendron there. I'm also going to be putting them towards the back of the garden, the back of the yard, where I'm going to create kind of a little forest area where I can have trees and bushes that you can walk through. And I do that as a reminder of how things are when I go hiking up in Rome Mountain through the rhododendron gardens up there. And I'm hoping that I can find a rhododendron that will work here in this zone, which is a little bit lower than Rome Mountain. But I want to do 2 or 3 for that back area to put in with the trees and bushes that are there. And so that is what I'm hoping will work well and will look really beautiful as you're looking through the garden when the rhododendrons are in bloom. The other thing I want to do is something that I've noticed, that at the end of fall and when we get into winter, when I look towards the back of the garden, it just looks pretty sad because there's no form or shape to it, because most of the things that I have lose their leaves. I have been adding evergreens, but that is another thing that I'm going to have to do this year is keep adding evergreens to the garden so that I can get some architectural form to the garden when we have the late fall and the winter, that you will still see some kind of shape or form in the garden. And then when you get a heavy snow, it really looks beautiful to see the snow on top of all those. So I'm going to be working with dwarf pines and some tall pines. I have to go and see what all is out there and what fits my budget. But I'm going to definitely be adding evergreens to the garden. So the last thing I'm hoping to add to the garden is a water feature. Now, Mother used to have a little water pond here that she kept close to the porch. And she loved that thing. She had goldfish in it and water plants in it. She loved to sit next to it and just listen to the water fall over the rocks and just enjoy that. So I do want to bring that back to the garden, but what I want to do is put it closer to where the main garden is, so that it's a part of the main garden. It's going to be a lot larger than what she had, and I'm still going to add the water plants to it. I don't know about the goldfish on that, but I definitely want to have water back in the garden just like she had in the garden. So that one will, if I can't do it this year, I'm definitely going to do it next year. I'll find a way, and I'm really looking forward to seeing water back in the garden. So the last thing I'm going to do is to make sure that I travel in 2026. And I did some traveling last year and enjoyed the places that I went to. One of them was Dry Falls, North Carolina, and I have a video of that on YouTube. It's a beautiful place. I would recommend going there, and I really enjoyed the trip there. I also went to Chimney Rock, North Carolina, and I went just after they had opened up the park and they had recovered from the flood that had taken place there and after the hurricane. And it is a beautiful place. And the Hickory Nut Falls is in that park, and it's just a short hike to that. Plus, you go up to the very top, or the vista of the mountains and the valleys there. It's just amazingly beautiful. A great place to visit. The other place I got to see was Rock City Gardens in Lookout Mountain, Georgia, and which is more of a fantasy type garden than anything else, and really beautiful. There's a lot of caverns and places that you can walk through, and there's waterfalls there also, and some beautiful flowers, and there's some art displays along the trails too. And in addition to, when you get to the top, you have a great view of Chattanooga and looking towards Tennessee and some of the other states. Beautiful place to go to, and I would recommend going to that. So I want to do the same this year. I don't have any specific ones that I want to tell you now, but I will definitely be trying to go to at least 2 or 3 places this year, and I'm looking forward to that. So those are the things that I have planned for 2026, and I'm hoping to get all that done and get it on YouTube so that you'll be able to join me in on the journey as I experience new things in gardening and as I see different places. I want to thank you for watching Garden Dreams and Other Things, and we'll see you next time.